Hi guys, welcome to it. Better Off Dead here on Wednesday, September 9th. Quick recap. Yesterday, MLB, 3 wins, 3 losses, lose a few bucks in juice, maybe a half unit. I'm going to say minus 50 bucks or so. It'll all be in the weekend tally. Trying to find deals, trying to find value, looking to do a little bit better today. Always trying to go at least 2-1. Having said that, I think I found a couple of angles that may be worth putting into motion. Baltimore Orioles at New York Mets. This is game 2 of this set. Jorge Lopez goes for the Orioles. Rick Porcello for the Mets, couple of right-handers. Both pitchers kind of middle of the road. They both sport 5+ ERAs. The Orioles have been scoring a lot of runs and winning 4 in a row coming in, including yesterday's big win against the Mets. I say big as in big offensive output from the Orioles. 11-2 final score. Orioles hit 4 home runs in the win. You see behind me, I have written down Orioles team total to go over 3.5. Getting a little expensive, maybe minus 145 or so. You might see it at 4, over 4 team total at a little bit less output. I like it in either case. The Orioles, even behind yesterday, it's a total of 9 games in a row that they have scored over 3.5, or in other words, 4 runs or more in 9 in a row. They've won the last 4. 3 of those games that I'm mentioning where they've gone over that total have been against these New York Mets, 2 of them in Baltimore, and then, of course, yesterday's game in New York City Field. So I'm asking for it again from the Orioles. Worth noting, they did lose Anthony Santander a few days ago to an injury. He appears to be out for the rest of the season. However, they're doing it with lots of other guys. Jose Iglesias is a shortstop for them, batting .396 up there in the 2-hole for them. Ryan Mountcastle, a rookie there at third base for them, .339. He made his debut a few weeks ago. He's got some home runs and some RBIs. So they're playing with a lot of confidence. They're knocking on the door of 500. I think they sit at 20 up and 21 down coming into today's game. But rather than backing them to win, because they are still, essentially a 500 club, I'm going to back them to go over 3.5 today against Rick Porcello and the Mets for really, gosh, the 10th game in a row. So I hope they can keep it going. I like the play. A little bit later, Cincinnati Reds at Chicago Cubs. Yu Darvish going for the Cubs, and Trevor Bauer for the Reds. Couple of right-handers, both having excellent years. The edge, though, goes to Darvish, who is 7-1 with a 1.44 ERA. Of course, the Cy Young leader with those numbers, as you can imagine. He lost his first start and then has been nearly unhittable since, winning 7 in a row for the Cubs. Bauer also got off to an amazing start, but he has come back down to earth a little bit, lost his last 3. The Cubs, given what I just said, and the Cubs sport a much better record, they are becoming quite a heavy favorite. I think it opened up at about minus 150 to back the Cubs on the money line, and it has grown a little bit, a little more steam behind that, maybe minus 156, 157, something along those lines. I'm trying not to back too many heavy favorites. Minus 150 is kind of my threshold. Because of that, I'm going to back the Cubs on the run line. Cubs minus 1.5. Get some plus money, maybe plus 144 or so. Bauer, mentioned, got off to a great start, but he has dropped his last 3 decisions. One of those to these Cubs in a 7-inning game. Anthony Rizzo took him deep a couple times. So I don't want to get carried away about Bauer's drop off. He hasn't been bad, but he just dropped off a little bit from that amazing start. A lot of that has to be attributed to the bats, to the team behind him. They are sporting a .210 team batting average, which is good for last place in all of MLB, despite having Joey Votto, Castellanos. Eugenio Suarez has finally come around with some home runs over the last, few weeks. He got off to a really slow start. Castellanos got off to a really hot start, but he's dropped off. So it has amounted to very little run support for the Reds, who at this point are on life support. They don't appear to be in the playoff mix, whereas the Cubs are very much so in the playoff mix. And again, behind Darvish, they got to be feeling pretty great about themselves to get the W. So I will play it on that run line, not messing with that heavy juice. I'm going to get plus 144 if I can get the Cubs by 2 or more today. And correlated as well, I wrote down, I'm also going to play the Cubs team total over 3.5. That modest number is out of respect for Trevor Bauer for sure. Still very capable, still having a very good year. But that team total sits at over 3.5 for the Cubs. You can get it at pretty close to even money, minus 105. So with the Cubs, with some decent success against Bauer recently, I'm going to play it for the Cubs to maybe even take him deep a couple times. I think he's probably getting pretty frustrated with that lack of run support behind his pitching performances. Okay, that's probably enough said on those 2 games. It is 3 plays I'm backing across those 2 games. Orioles team total over 3.5. Cubs to win by 2. Cubs team total over 3.5. Better Off Dead on a Wednesday, September the 9th. Thanks so much. If you like us, if we're making you some money, not yesterday, but besides that, we've done quite well. If it's working out for you, please pass it on. Desperately need more people to watch. Thanks again, Better Off Dead.